First of all, I always thought that breast cancer was a white woman's disease. I didn't know that black women got breast cancer, and that was mainly because all the promotions featured white women. So I just thought, oh, black women don't get this. And then lo and behold, I was diagnosed with stage 3 advanced breast cancer. I thought after that I finished with the IV and the chemo that I was going to go home. I didn't know I had to take additional over-the-counter, not over-the-counter, but prescription drugs. And I went, and it was quite expensive. And I thought to myself, okay, what do poor people do? How do women that look like me, that is less fortunate than I am, how do they make it? How do they find the money to pay for this prescription, take care of their families, cover all their finances? That must be so difficult for them. And then I was at home one morning feeling, terrible after chemotherapy treatment. Couldn't get off the bed. It was terrible. And I thought to myself, okay, I don't want any other woman that looks like me to have to go through this alone. So when I get better, I'm going to do something about this. That started the journey of me and the Olive Branch of Hope.
The Olive Branch of Hope's office is situated on Indigenous land. This is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. The Olive Branch of Hope gratefully acknowledges these Indigenous nations for their guardianship of this land. The Olive Branch of Hope also recognizes stolen people from across the world who have inhabited this land by force. Slavery prior to and including the transatlantic slave trade continuing through modern day human trafficking have brought Indigenous people from across the globe to care for this land. We acknowledge the truth of our Canadian history and commit ourselves to reconciliation, knowledge, and careful intention. I invite you to take a moment of silence. Feel free to use this moment for prayer, memory of a loved one, or to set an intention for your engagement on this space. Thank you for holding this moment of silence with me.
Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Miss J. I am the flight strategist and founder of a Beautiful Women Society. I am so excited to be hosting my Wednesday slot here on the 30-day initiative for the HERstory. Now, let me tell you, it's been a whirlwind. We are on day 21, I believe. And I mean, we are counting down the days, 10 days left. Every evening at 7 o'clock p.m., we were here and some of the most amazing women that the Toronto, the GTA, and wherever else they're coming from is here to share with you and do something that we're doing all together, which is to celebrate and to support the the Olive Branch of Hope in Toronto. Now, I want to thank you for joining the conversation today as we continue through our 30 Days of the HERstory campaign in support of the Olive Branch of Hope. I want to just share with you a little bit about what we're doing here as part of this whole movement. This organization started like 20 years ago. So let's start it again. This organization started 20 years ago, and they were here holding very sacred space for the women of African ancestry as they journey through their cancer treatment and thrive through life afterwards. And we know going through any type of trauma, there is always that aftermath that you got to deal with. The founder and visionary, which you heard there, Miss Layla Springer, is joined by the board and volunteers in thanking you for joining and being part of this very important conversation. There's a link somewhere on the screen. If you can see it, send it to your peoples, get them out. And if you missed any of our sessions, please go back onto Her Story. Hey, sister, herstory.ca. You can find all of the episodes. And let me tell you, they're all inspiring. These women are amazing, and I can't wait to delve into today. So, without further ado, let's get this thing going. And I introduce to the stage our guest. I'm going to surprise you, and she's going to introduce herself as soon as she gets on. Let's welcome Rachael Abah to the stage. Hey, girl, how
Hello,
are you?
hello. Greetings, everyone. Great
Good to
evening.
see you and good to meet you. Sound check, we're doing good. We're not glitching. If you're here, let us know in the chat glitching or if we're not being heard, and our tech team will make sure that we get back to business as normal. Lots to pack in today. See you here today, Rachael. So why don't we just start right off with telling people who you are?
Yes, so as I said, my name is Rachael Abah, and I am a supreme spiritual guide and mentor to highly intuitive women leaders. And essentially, I'm in the business of supporting women becoming bold and feeling seen and, liberated to be able to step out into the world and create tangible, like meaningful success for themselves on their terms. So that's in a nutshell
I want to just
what I
highlight
do.
that last line, meaningful success on their own terms.
Yes.
Fire. Love that. And today we're going to have fun because we were talking a bit backstage and just aligning what we do. And I the fact that, as Beautiful Women Society, my job as a flight strategist to help women to reclaim their secret identity, right? To help us as
Beautiful.
superheroes to remember who we are, to strengthen
Yes.
who we are, to be better at what we do, right? Because many times you ask a woman, who are you? And they'll tell you, I'm a wife, I'm a career woman, I'm a business owner. But that's what we do, right? And so today we're going to delve a little bit more with Rachael into that whole piece of meaningful success on your own platform.
Yes.
What does that look like? This leads into a really good question around, we've been talking about the four V's, and the first one is vision. And the importance of having vision, and many women have shared their perspective on this topic, and I'm very interested to hear your opinion and your perspective on what is the importance of vision.
Yes. Well, vision for me, I see vision as my North Star, right? Vision is what has been put, like the blessing and the anointment that has been put, on my life. And
Mhm.
then I come here in this incarnation to be able to bring that to fruition as not only just a gift, but medicine. So, vision is what I'm bringing forward in the world. It is my work. It is who I'm being. It is the entirety of it goes even beyond purpose. My it's my medicine. So it's healing
Mhm.
for me and it's healing for those around me and for my entire environment. So when I'm in alignment with my vision and I have my sight locked in on that North Star, everything colludes and comes into
I love that. I love that.
cohesion. So yeah, vision
And
is
everything. Right?
everything.
And you spoke to that word alignment with the vision. And,
Yes.
I think a lot of times people mistake that vision means you are in the right direction, right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't, right? It's so much
Mhm.
more, because you can have your vision, but you could be facing the wrong star,
Absolutely. You could be looking
right?
at someone else's star
That's it.
and wondering why the path is so rough, right?
Like,
You're
why
like,
can I
I'm doing
recognize the
everything.
star?
Yeah, I'm doing everything. And I swear it was this way. The
I
arrow
swear
pointed.
it was
Yeah.
this way, but it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So vision is so it's in my experience, it is through all the bodies. So it is in my physical person, my physical reality, and it extends right through transpersonally into the ethereal bodies.
Mhm.
And it is the agreement and the stamp of your almost like your my I see it almost like a QR code, like
Mhm.
it's my own fingerprint,
Mhm. Mhm.
cosmic fingerprint. And I am here to live that out and bring it to fruition.
Mm.
And not only that, so many other moving parts and pieces are, it's like there was an opportunity and I was born to bring
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
in a particular way, in a particular tribe of
Mm-hmm.
like-minded souls. And however way I choose to do that, that's, a conversation around free will. However, there's a through line
There
to
is.
it.
There is.
And that vision is not just for me, it also complements other people's vision. So sometimes I'll meet you, for example, and I'm here to hold you high and ignite, activate, accelerate your vision, because 3 years from now there'll be a point where it plays off
Yes.
of each
Yes.
other. So
Mountains, the
it's one
crossroads.
grand vision,
Mm-hmm.
and we each hold, it's like a fractal of a
Yes.
greater whole. So it's about that conversation around full integration of self, and the vision is part of that.
It's well said. I can I just applaud you? Thank you. It's amazing. Yeah, that was very well put together. Yes. If you didn't understand half the words, Google it. Okay. Catch a replay and Google these words. No, these are like just the words alone. I love it. Ethereal. Oh, jeez. Woo, feeling it. I love it. I love being amongst women who continue to expand my mind in terms of just different ways and the different perspectives. And why I say that is because we all come from a story. We all have a narrative, and
Mhm.
as I teach women, I say if you
Yeah.
shift your mind, you shift your mindset, you shift your trajectory, right?
Mhm.
And it's that old saying, your altitude is determined by your attitude,
Your
right?
attitude, correct.
Type thing.
Yes.
And so in doing that, it leads me to my my third question actually. When along your journey, right, to creating this vision, did you feel that your voice was diminished or silenced, that now it's so clear that you can start this next leg of your journey?
Yes. Well, in my experience, my voice, I learned very early in my youth. I would say in my babyhood that my that who I was um, didn't have a place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the messaging I got, and that became part of my personal
Mm-hmm.
narrative. So, and I shared, with you when we're backstage in the green room, that only in my adulthood did I finally give myself permission
Mm-hmm.
to even consider that I wanted to have my voice heard. Because it got to a
Mm-hmm.
point where I believe, full disclosure, I was holding my voice. And not only was I holding my voice, I was holding everything else. I was
Yes.
in full withholding mode, right? I was in hiding, is how I describe it. And so I thought, well, if one little piece of me is not acceptable, you will get none of me. And I'll just keep it to myself as my own
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I'll just, do
Yeah.
my thing. And so there was a bit of that, I believe. And then it came to a point where it was just obvious that, okay, this does not serve me, and it does not serve my heart, and it
Yeah.
certainly does not serve my vision, right? And
Mm.
it's not a vision. See, the whole vision piece, it's not something that I came up with, right? I didn't sit down and create a vision board and that was my vision. No, this is not about something I just go out there and I choose. A vision is beyond a goal. It's beyond a desire.
Say
A
that one
vision is
more
not
time.
a vision is not,
Yeah.
a career choice. Like it's not that. It's not like, what do you want to be
Yes.
when you grow up? That's not the vision I'm talking about. Those are goals. Those are
Mm-hmm.
human plans,
Mm-hmm.
and they're finite. A vision is, I feel compelled,
Yes.
and I have the toolkit for this.
Yes.
People look at it and don't understand where you get the capacity for it.
Yes.
It cannot be duplicated,
Nope.
right?
Replicated,
That's the
imitated, but never
vision. You
duplicated.
can't. You
Yep.
can't duplicate it
Yep.
because it is, and there are different versions. Anyway, So for me, that's
She's
what
like, I'm about to drop these gems like raindrops, honey.
right, like, rain it back in.
Yes.
So no, but that's, for me, it was in my adulthood where, as I shared with you, as because I identify as an intuitive, and I got this download, and literally my spiritual guide like just came all up, like ran up on me and said, okay, now
Now.
stop this, just cut
Yes.
it out, Rachel.
You got
Now
the
you're
finger.
going out into the I'm like, but I'm like, but it's been working so well. No,
It's one of
get
these
out there. Yeah, get out there. Literally, when the rug is pulled. Yeah.
pulled.
So
Pulled.
I just went out. It was like bright lights. It was like,
Yes, it wasn't even a
uh,
magic trick. You landed straight
no,
on your
no.
back.
It like
Let's go.
literally get out there.
Yeah.
And, and it was 0 to 60. So as an adult, like within the last year, just a little over a year, I said yes to myself.
Nice.
And I said yes to my vision, because I never believed that there was room or a space or a requirement for my vision in the world. I'm like, the world is doing just fine. Like,
What they need
I
me
can,
for?
yeah,
Yeah.
and Spirit was like, no, you get to go out there. So for me, because I had taxied for so long in my life, like that runway,
Yeah.
and that it was 0 to 1,000. So I
Right.
went from living under a rock and like hiding
Yeah.
to being on like on the internet, right?
Did you
And
find
doing
though? Can I ask a
all of this
question
stuff.
before you? Do you
Yes.
find, because you said something that I want to just kind of elaborate a little bit on.
Yes.
Do you find when you said you were living under this rock, were you feeling the overwhelming of your skill sets and your capacity growing, or were you stagnant and you just kind of
No. So this is how sophisticated the hiding was. I became very I was like the power behind the throne, right?
Okay.
Like I was
Yes.
doing what my spiritual guide was doing for me. I was doing it for other people, but not wanting any credit for it.
Right.
Never wanting to be seen for it.
Right.
So I was fierce, bold, advocate, everything, but I was not leading from the front.
Yes.
The difference now is Spirit was like, yeah, that's all fine and good. And you get to be seen. I'm like, why? Right. So now I get to do it from the front. So I'm an avid learner. I was constantly, because my compulsion, part of my vision is to learn, to grow, to expand my capacity, because there is no limit.
I love it.
So that was my constant. So when COVID hit, I was like getting certificates like crazy. I was just on the go.
And
I'm
all
always
cylinders.
learning. And so then I have all this experience and all these tools and all this. And Spirit was like, now what are you going to do with it? Like, you're just collecting knowledge for what?
See my trophy kit right here.
Right? You're just collecting.
Yeah.
And what is the committed action?
That's it.
That's where I hit the wall of committed action.
Yeah. And
yeah.
It's honestly, that's a lot. Like for me, I'm the opposite. I'm a go. And to your point, yes, we're very good at being the voice behind, the head, right?
Yes.
You're hearing it, but people are not knowing where it's truly originating from.
Yes.
And I found that in my career, as I went through the years, I was that voice that people were hearing, but they couldn't figure out where it was coming from.
Yes.
I'm not God, close enough, but
in a sense,
I mean, right? But we are in His image, though, right? So at the end of the day, when you really step out into the light, it's not because you're looking for that recognition,
no,
but it's the additional presence that comes with the voice, right? And so
there's a part of the work, and and one of the catalysts for this was I was in an event, and I was because part of my medicine is words and speaking to be, and then resonance and frequency, and there's certain things it's almost like a chiropractor.
Yes.
My words are very specific, very deliberate, and it has always been. I'm not trying to do it. It's just my medicine. And one lady, I was just talking to her, and she broke down crying. She's like, "Where were you a year ago when I needed to hear?" And I was like, and Spirit was like, "Tell her, where were you?"
Let me just check my calendar real quick. Oh yeah, I was under a rock.
Yeah. That's where you were a
Okay,
hermit.
good. I was under a rock. Yeah.
Yeah,
Came out and didn't
yeah.
see my shadow. Went back in.
So you don't think there's a place in the world for you? Yeah, let's circle back on that one.
Yeah.
So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
definitely.
And it's there. It's, and we all have it. And we all have it. And that's brings me to my next question. Because now
Yes.
that you found your voice and you
I
are,
never lost it though.
it's never, it's not lost.
Yeah.
But when I say found, I mean in terms of you always discover something within yourself, right?
Yes.
To me, you always discover something. To your point, you say, I learn, I'm an avid learner,
Evolving. I'm
and you're constantly
constantly,
evolving. But
yeah.
when you evolve, you find things. You find that, wow, maybe a strength that wasn't highlighted to me by others was a strength I always had, right?
Yes. Correct.
We tend to wait for people to tell us what we're good at, and we don't
External
trust our own,
validation.
exactly, we don't trust our own instincts to know this is what we're good at. There's times when women come to start their business and they're telling
Yeah.
me about something, but I'm like, I hear no passion in that. Well, somebody said that I was good at doing that, and I said, yeah, but you're really talking about something else for the last hour, and none of it was really
Yes.
why you called me. And so
Exactly.
they find within themselves, right? So it's
Yes.
not necessarily lost, but it's discovered. It's when you
Yeah.
recognize that, wait a minute, I could hold a tune, or wait a minute, I
Yes.
can fix a car, or wait a minute, I can
Yes.
start a business. It's an
Yes.
amazing feeling because you almost get addicted to trying to find out what else is hiding in here,
Yeah. The
right?
hunt.
Within my capacity, right? To make it
Yeah.
happen. So
Yeah.
in saying that, you
Yes.
now have found your voice, right?
Yes.
You now have, a vision. You have a vision as to what needs to be done. You're now given a voice to bring it to fruition.
Yes.
So now let's talk a little bit about the version, right? Because you touched a little bit earlier on the fact that in your journey to this point,
Hmm.
right, there was a narrative.
Yes.
But what is the narrative now? How are you rewriting the narrative? How are you controlling it?
Yes. Well, I call it the great remembering. So, in speaking to what you were touching on about the discovery, and they're like, oh, I never. Now, for me, that remembering is the whole work around the full integration of self, becoming a whole and
Mhm,
complete being, and then permitting myself. So the narrative I have now is, I am more than enough.
mhm.
Right? I have all that I require, and whatever it is I've yet to discover, um,
Yes.
is really just a remembering to jog my memory
Mhm,
of, because I'm whole and complete. And so the narrative now is about the how robust my capacity is,
mhm.
right? For my expansiveness. So
Yes.
wherever it is I see, or there's a nudging or even a thought around it, is already data for me to know that I have it
That's
already.
it.
So now the adventure is the uncovering of it,
Mm.
because it's always there. So I'm not, Columbus.
Yeah.
Um, America was always there. It's just the
Found it.
right.
Yeah.
I did it. No,
I did
it
it.
has always been
Give
there.
me a
It's
day.
right. It was right. It was always there, and it is, the journey of this life in this physical person
Mhm.
is to experience it
That's it.
again for the
Yeah.
first time,
I love it.
if that
And you
makes sense.
celebrate it.
So
Yeah.
my narrative now is, that old story of not enough, no place, lone wolfing it is done,
Yes.
right? So the narrative that I'm embracing is around giving myself permission to be
Mhm.
my whole and complete self
Mm.
unapologetically,
Mm.
so that I can become medicine for myself and in the world for others who hear my voice.
Love it. You say things that are bringing me back to a book that I'm reading with my ladies in on our Put Yourself First a book club, and
Hmm.
we're reading Viola Davis Finding Me, and
Ooh,
the power,
I haven't read
of,
it yet. I
let
haven't
me
read
tell
it
you,
yet.
girl, I'm gonna tell you this:
Mm,
book a day, get your wines, your cocktail, whatever your pleasure, get your snacks, because it's one of those, like, you don't want to get up out of the seat
Yes.
until that book is
Oh my
done,
word.
right? And we take it on weekly. And
Yes.
we had, there's something you said that triggered just that. She said that in one of her chapters, she talked about coming into me. And
Ooh.
she spoke to that piece, just like how you're speaking to it in terms of rewriting the narrative, that she
Mm.
didn't have to act the way people were trying to make her act, and speak the way they wanted her to speak, and do the things. And when she went into Africa and she saw, just not even just people of her own kind, but just the freedom of
Yeah.
being
Of
them,
just being. Yeah.
it just changed the whole version of her story. And could you imagine if she didn't go? Would
Mm.
she be where she is now, collecting the whole EGOT, right? Would she have gotten to that level? And that's why it's
Yeah.
so important, as you're talking about, that diminishment or that discovery or whatever the case is.
Yes.
It's important
Yes.
that we remember that
Yeah.
when we understand how to write our own narrative,
Hmm.
you can only be empowered, right?
That's stepping into full divine power.
Mm-hmm.
That it emits a different, it's a whole other frequency I've found, where their experiences of, things coming against or trying to curtail, at a particular frequency, your original signal,
Mm-hmm.
right, that is in alignment with your vision, and you're not betraying yourself, you're not in a practice of compromise,
Right.
and you're honoring yourself whole and
Yes.
completely, and you're not judging, because that's the other piece. When I'm not judging aspects of myself as bad or negative or dark or evil or good, or because whatever the duality is, it's still a judgment. So as long as I am accepting my whole self
Mm-hmm.
and leaning into curiosity, if there's something I'm not quite sure about and I ask, oh, how come? What do you have to, what can you tell me about the situation? What do you like? And having these conversations with myself
Mm-hmm.
and listening deeply for the answer, I've always found that there there's just no limit, because there's no I'm not curtailing, I'm not editing, I'm not
Yes.
doing any of that stuff. So I get a clear, crisp signal that is two-way. So I become a receiver of cosmic data and a transceiver of
Mm-hmm.
said data.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this beautiful dance
Mm-hmm.
that occurs.
They say.
So and
Yeah.
that is power.
They
That is
say.
power, because no one else can come and disrupt or interrupt that signal, because then it's not my battle. That's spiritual. That's between you and the creator,
Mm-hmm.
because that is source signal,
Yeah.
not Rachel goal
And you have to be ready to
plans.
receive it, as you're saying, right? You become the
Yes,
receiver, and
yes,
to that point, you have to
yes.
be ready
Antenna.
to be open for
Yeah,
that, and trusting a
absolutely.
process that's not necessarily yours, right? They say insanity is just doing the same thing, expecting different results. And so,
Yes,
whenever I get to a point where I can't see beyond, it's time for me to
yes,
let go and let God, really, where,
yes.
it's the people that I speak to, it's my circle, you know,
Hmm.
is it strong enough? Do I need to
Yes.
add more? Do I need to find more
Hmm.
resources? Right? We don't need to do
Yes.
it on our own. And this platform
No.
here that Nadia and the Olive Branch of Hope, have provided to us, is showing that I think we're entering another era, a leveled up era,
It's a new
where
paradigm.
it's where exactly where we're seeing, and I mean 30 days, we're 21 days in. That means 21 women
Yes.
spoke on this stage. 21 women spoke on the stage, and all of them are understanding the power of collaboration, the power of
Yes.
circle, the power of
Hmm.
community. And Nadia has
Hmm.
really given us this voice to the four V's. Like, she is changing the game just with this, where we're seeing that it's
Fantastic.
you don't got to go across the world and read books from
No.
1902. There's so much power in this room there is.
What's wrong with 1902? What's your beef with that?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I got stood up for a date or something. I don't know. But I'm getting over it. It's 1,000 years of healing. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Right. But we
Oh,
have
it'll
that.
be in your
We have it.
memoirs.
We have it. And I look forward to us taking this vision to the next level. Us,
Yes,
giving ourselves the opportunity to hear a voice, not just right
yes,
here in this platform, but at the bigger
yes,
stages, and us rewriting the narrative of how we work together
yes.
to
And
get.
what I'm hearing from you is you're touching on the energy of the mastermind, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole
Oh,
concept of the
oh, yes.
mastermind, and these are all metaphysical, esoteric,
Yes.
concepts that some modern Europeans discovered, and
Yep.
created an entire industry of
Wrote a book
transformation
about
out
it.
of it, right? It's yeah, don't get me stop it. Stop it. So and we see that idea. I mean, these are all in terms of universal laws and things, we see that idea too with I don't know if you've heard of, one horse, like horsepower,
Mhm.
horse pulling a particular
Yep.
amount, like load, and they can only go so much, like, say if it's 5 logs, they
For
can
their
only pull
max out.
five
Yep.
logs and then, but for whatever reason, when you put two horses together to pull,
Jeez.
they pull more than 10 logs.
And
Like, you would
10
think
logs.
5 and 5 they should be
5
able to
make,
do
yeah.
10, but for whatever reason, it's like when two or more are gathered, right? We've heard this
Yes,
in
we
in
heard this.
scripture,
Yes.
biblical scripture.
Yep.
So the
Revelation.
idea behind that is when two or more are gathered, you actually alchemize and create from your
Yes.
two energies a third person,
Yes.
which is
And it
the Holy
and
Trinity.
and yeah, and if you're even like, and as your depth of wisdom grows, so does your ability to manufacture that power,
Yeah,
right?
because
It's
and it's
crazy.
the access. Like, we're creator beings, yes, yet everything that we ever require is already readily available.
Hmm.
So, really, as transceivers, right? So, the reception pieces, we get to be able to tune in, right? You were at the beginning, you were
Hmm.
talking about looking at a wall versus, like, are
Hmm.
you facing the right direction
Hmm.
for that's in alignment with your North Star, your
Yeah.
vision, right? So, when we turn the satellite of our being in the direction of our vision, in the direction of source, life, creator, God, energy, power,
Hmm.
we get infused, and
Yes.
we we we
Yes, girl. She said,
we
"You see how
grab
lady
the
how you get
signal,
infused?
right? We
It just
grab the signal,
it
and
just
it's like
plugs in
and it goes far and wide,
far and wide. We are
far and
just
wide.
we are literally just vessels. And I say vessels because it's not just necessarily those who speak from a coaching perspective or a mentor perspective, but more importantly, every person plays a role in this picture that we spoke about very early into the
Mhm.
conversation, in
Yes,
this vision, this big vision. We all
yes,
are a piece of that puzzle that makes up for it. And then
yes.
when we strengthen when we strengthen our role, we
Hmm.
become even more valuable to
Yes.
the vision reaching its ultimate height, right? As I say, you got to work through your drip. You got to build that drive. You got to build that resilience. You got to build that innovation. You got to build that progression. And when you
Invest
level
in
up your
yourself.
drip, that's
You get to invest in
constant
yourself.
investment. And
Know
the
thyself.
ripple effect of that is
Hmm.
nonverbal.
Yes. It's
The ripple
waves. It's
effect is
energy waves.
it's crazy because your
Energy
kids see it
waves.
and you don't have to say anything. Your significant other, your congregation, your
Yes.
communities, your workforce, when you walk in the room, the presence that precedes you is
Yes.
undeniable,
Yeah, your energy
right?
field, yeah, because it's who you're being, right? We touched
It's
on that.
exactly.
It's not, I mean, you can do all the right things and still feel stuck and n- unfulfilled. So it's not really the activity. It can be a means to an end to be able to amp up yourself to for it to become a practice. That whole idea of fake it till you make it. So there's
Hmm.
a place for that, but really it is who you're being. Are you being
That's it.
accountable? responsible,
That's it.
committed,
Ah,
connected,
dedicated.
right?
Yes.
All of
Yes.
those things. Are you being that? Are you embodying those traits so that anything you come in contact with, whatever it is you're creating, whether it be your business, your relationships,
Mm-hmm.
your
Your
whatever you're
intellectual,
here
yep,
to,
everything.
so that what you're doing becomes infused with that same supercharged, pristine energy, so
This,
that you're not trying to like figure out how to reverse, like, to fix it
yes.
as
I
you
was just about
go.
to
You're not
say, yeah.
fixing it because it came from the seed of who you're being, and it's already blessed.
Yes. Which leads to the final question of the evening. Whew.
Yes.
Gems dropping tonight, ladies. If you're just hopping into this, we're here with Rachael Abah, spiritual mentor, founder of the Supreme Leadership Summit. She hit the replay. Go to the website. No, hit the replay. This is I always say sometimes when you listen to it more than once, you start to really pull out the gems that work for you. Sometimes when you're hearing people talk, you're following the thought, and in the moment it's great. But when you walk away and you get a chance to reflect, this is one that you should hit the replay on. Now, the final question really lays into what you just ended off on: victory.
Ah.
Victory, right? Because you really brought that to a nice little close there. I like
Nice
that.
crescendo. Yeah.
Oh, girl, I
Okay.
was just like, "Ah." So what's that
Yes.
imagery in your mind? Now that we've
Victory.
heard the first three V's of vision, voice, and version. What
Mhm.
is the victory image?
Victory image. When I hear the word victory, definitely that is an old school military term, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in my life, that's spiritual warfare,
Mm,
and then psycho spiritual warfare, and then the victory is truly sovereignty.
mm-hmm.
Victory is not only have you broken through, because not overcome, because overcome, it's still there. I've broken through and I've actually transmuted it.
Mm-hmm.
I've changed its very DNA.
Existence, yes.
It is no longer, I've neutralized it.
Yes.
Whatever it is. So I've transformed that, and it's now in service to the vision. So
Mm.
it is not just winning. It's not, it's more than all of these things. Victory, when you think of like the pose where you're like, victory is beyond that, where it is that conversation we're having about that whole and complete being. The
Yes.
victory is that I am that I am. That's
Mm.
the victory.
Ch-
And I am being
You
the
can't
I
keep
am.
dropping gems like that without me just having a
Yeah.
moment. Come on now.
Okay, we'll take a moment of
Having a moment.
silence.
Take a moment. Woo! Ladies, I hope you're with us on that moment. Fire. Fire. I love it. I could be here all night, but I'm sure our guests don't, they probably would want
We'll
to be
have to
here
do it
with
again.
us.
We'll have to do it again. Yeah, we not
This,
have to, we get to do it again. Yes.
we will. Yes, we will do it again. There's so much more to uncover, but I want to thank you. I want to thank
Ah.
you. I don't even want to follow that with anything. That just said good night, people. Listen, mic drop, screen froze. Um,
I love it.
what can we say? What can we say? But thank you to this amazing soul. I have been blessed and honored to share this evening with you, Rachael. I feel I'm leaving here feeling a sense of a level of empowerment. And, from a coach to a mentor to mentor, coach to coach, when you get a chance to sit in the right room with the right people, you just leave feeling like there's another level to this game. Like you just,
Elevated,
Nadia, you can't be,
nourished.
can't be putting on guests like this. Having me getting all in my feels, honey. Yes, what's the tea?
This is a
What a thank
communion,
you.
and I
It
thank
is.
you for such a safe and sacred space where we can co-create and
You're more than
explore
welcome.
and lean into our power. And I experience your medicine, and thank you for, providing a platform where I
You're
could
more than
share mine.
welcome.
So I see
Yes.
you and I honor you.
Oh, I see you and I honor you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of this segment. I again want to thank Rachael Abah for coming out and sharing the divine wisdom that she has been under a rock with. And now you got first dibs. This is where the raw stuff comes out. You know what I mean? Before all the other stuff comes in, you're getting the raw energy right here. And I love it. Please remember,
Pristine signal.
that's what you should be doing after this, looking for your North Star. If you can't find her, Rachael, drop where you are so people know how to find you.
You can find me at rachaelabah.com. So RACHAELABAH.com. You can also find me at supremeleadershipsummit.com.
Wonderful.
I'm
I
on
will be
Facebook. I'm on
definitely,
Instagram.
I'm gonna go
I'm
find
on
you. I'm gonna follow
LinkedIn.
you. I'm gonna find
Find
you and
me.
follow you.
Find me.
Girl, I got my goggles on. I got my binoculars up. Your North Star shining, honey. I don't even need to find you. I need to just tap into it. All right. So for the rest of you, please remember to visit www.heysisterherstory.ca. If you need to place replay on this, do so. We have dropped some gems today on both ends here to create for you the lineage and the pathway to what you need to do for yourself to empower. Please go to the website to purchase any of the co-branded items that you see, because Her Story is giving extra from these products to the Olive Branch of Hope. Open your pockets. And let me tell you, it's easier when you open your mind. The pockets will come, right? We never say we don't work for money. We work for people. And when we work for people, we are blessed so that we can take care of ourselves to take care of others. So please go there. Feel free to donate if you don't want any of the items, but I suggest that you do get some. And if you buy it for a friend, give it as a gift. You can go to the website and donate. All funds raised are going to be dedicated to purchasing specialized medical devices for Black women living with lymphedema after breast cancer treatment. And I had the honor of interviewing Miss Layla herself, the founder of the Olive Branch of Hope, and her telling me her story and helping me to even fully understand more the day-to-day sacrifices these women are making, living in pain in order to keep going and being the superheroes that they are. So your coins do help, your dollars do help. And if you can, donate. If you can, purchase. It's not about asking yourself, should I? It's about, when am I going to get on and do it? Again, thank you, Rachael, for this. I am blessed again to honor and share this stage with you. My name is Miss J. Josette, aka Miss J Wholeness, and I am the flight strategist and founder of Beautiful Women Society, where, as we both do, we help you to reclaim who you are, strengthening who you are to be better at what you do. I want to thank the Olive Branch of Hope and Nadia Headley for providing us this platform for us to share our wisdom and to share our experiences. And until tomorrow at 7:00 p.m., tune in again for another amazing session with another set of women who are here to help you to bring it to the next level. All right. We'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon, Rachael. And on that note, we're out. Bye.
First of all, I always thought that breast cancer was a white woman's disease. I didn't know that Black women got breast cancer, and that was mainly because all the promotions featured white women. So I just thought, oh, Black women don't get this. And then lo and behold, I was diagnosed with stage 3 advanced breast cancer. I thought after that I finished with the IV and the chemo that I was going to go home. I didn't know I had to take additional not over-the-counter, but prescription drugs. And I went, and it was quite expensive. And I thought to myself, okay, what do poor people do? How do women that look like me, that is less fortunate than I am, how do they make it? How do they find the money to pay for this prescription, take care of their families, cover all their finances? That must be so difficult for them. And then I was at home one morning feeling, terrible after chemotherapy treatment. Couldn't get off the bed. It was terrible. And I thought to myself, okay, I don't want any other woman that looks like me to have to go through this alone. So when I get better, I'm going to do something about this. That started the journey of of me and the Olive Branch of Hope.